Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hello. If you are new here, hello, my name's Audrey. This is my YouTube channel. I am a psychic medium and I am the salty psychic because I'm very salty. I don't hide it from you. That's kind of who I am. Yikes, no makeup on this morning. I don't have time to put on makeup. I want to do this video right now while I have all this information rushing through my little brain. I have a lot of information from court documents, 20 pages. I'm not going to read 20 pages. I'm going to give you a simple mind summary of what's going on in the KOHBERGER case, or as I like to call him, Hamburger. He's dead meat. He's a lot of things. So be prepared for that. Okay, before we get started though, please go ahead, hit the like button. Come on, you guys, hit the like button. It's so easy. It doesn't cost anything and it makes me happy. Also, hit the subscribe button. We're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. That's so exciting. And then share the video. Maybe you know someone who needs more of an easy explanation of what's going on in the KOHBERGER case, which that's why I'm here. I'm going to give you an easy explanation. I may not even use the right words. I don't know, but I will get my point across so you understand what's happening. All right. So our most hated murderer at the moment, BRYAN KOHBERGER, aka BRYAN Hamburger. The defense is his attorneys, BRYAN KOHBERGER's side, okay? The defense is claiming possibly that Hamburger's going to get an unfair trial. Why? Because of people like me and other YouTubers and the news agencies. So our opinions, our views, our personal feelings about the case, which, by the way, we have the right to talk, those are being used against us to aid BRYAN Hamburger. So in other words, me coming on here and saying things and expressing my feelings and opinions about the case, the defense is scared that people like me are going to affect the people in the jury who are going to make the final decision of guilty or innocent in the case. Well, that's not right. We have the right to speak and tell our stories, our feelings. By the way, you know, when we have instincts, what are instincts? Instincts go back to our caveman days, to protect ourselves, to save ourselves, and keep ourselves safe. So yeah, when you see someone who's crazy looking with the eyes and, you know, the cuckoo, you walk the other way, you turn, you don't make eye contact with that person. That's a built-in safety mechanism. Well, you're just saying he's guilty because he has a certain look. No. That's not true at all. I'm saying he's guilty because he's guilty. He just happens to look, he fits the role. He fits the role of a murderer, potentially a future serial killer. These are just my personal feelings as a psychic medium, as a fellow human being on this planet, as someone who lives the life here amongst everyone else. But Audrey, that knife sheath was placed there on purpose. He was set up. He's being framed. I'm afraid you're misguided if that's what you think. It was literally under the body of one of the girls with DNA connected to BRYAN KOHBERGER. So let's talk about DNA in this case. There's a lot of DNA evidence, both at the murder scene and at the parents' home, in the car. There's evidence everywhere. Now, the prosecution is putting a motion forth, or they're trying to have a motion determined to not be allowed. There's information they don't want shared, the prosecution. There's some information they don't want to share with the defense. They don't want it to go public. And that is hundreds of people who are related by blood to BRYAN HAMBURGER. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, similar to Ancestry.com or 23andMe, a lot of us have done the spit test. You put it in a jar, you send it off. Then you find out where your people are from. You find out what genetics you have exactly in your own body versus your siblings, your parents, your other relatives. Any one of us could be on that list. I could be on the list. You could be on the list. There's hundreds. There's hundreds of people who have connected DNA to BRYAN HAMBURGER. Can you imagine? Now, apparently, I was going to say allegedly, apparently, the FBI or the detectives, they're not pulling information off 23andMe and Ancestry.com. So where are they getting the DNA samples? I don't know. But I'll tell you what my children have told me, Sarah and Benjamin. Don't do the testing. Don't do it because the cops are crooked. They will take your DNA and they will throw it into crime scenes and they will, misuse your DNA. I could see that happening, honestly. I could see that happening. Identifications are stolen because people have given their DNA sample, even if it's a buccal swab with inside your mouth. It doesn't even have to be the vial of spit that you have to conjure to send off to the laboratory. So that's a little frightening. Will we ever know who are the hundreds of people on this list? I mean, it's not going to change anything for me. If I was related to him in some way, I doubt I am because I've done my DNA testing and most of my people are in Mexico and in the UK. But that doesn't mean anything, right? That's horrifying. That would be a nightmare come true. I'm just looking at my notes down here. So there is something called criminal profiling. But before I read the definition of criminal profiling, let me have you watch a very, very, very quick clip of my favorite comedian. Watch this.
Something's going on in the country. It's got to be the internet. It's got to be the internet. Internet's bringing out people we never even knew existed. 30 years ago, these people never left the house. They were in their basement talking to themselves. Just, They didn't leave. They had no outlet. Now you give them the internet, they have an outlet to the rest of the world. Now they're in chat rooms.
I'm sorry, he's right. Sebastian Maniscalco is right. He's exactly right. That's why it's funny. These people used to be in their basements, making phone calls, harassing people by phone or harassing people by written letter. Now they're down in the basement on the computer harassing people and digging up information to commit crimes and set crimes up, to follow through with crimes, to know where people are at, to know where they're not at. It's true. So don't tell me BS that because I think or you think Bryan KOHBERGER did the crime based on A, B, and C, when in fact, that's how the FBI and other government agencies profile the criminals. People go to school. People get doctorate degrees to do this because it's for real. It's a thing. This is, whether it's racial profiling, criminal profiling, whatever. Let me read to you what the definition is of criminal profiling. The criminal profiling process is defined by the FBI as a technique used to identify the perpetrator of a violent crime by identifying the personality and behavioral characteristics of the offender based upon the analysis of the crime committed. It's not based on facts. It's based on somebody's professional opinion on the criminal's behavior, characteristics, and personality. Well, I'm sorry. I can do that. You can do that. Like I said, it's built into our beings as humans to protect ourselves. It's just that these people have degrees in these things, and therefore they can be employed by government agencies to help the police. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to understand. It's actually very, very simple. So we don't know if this motion's been approved. I might not be using the word right. Maybe it's not motion, but it's a request from the state prosecuting the case. They don't want to share this information with the defense or made public. And the information is all these hundreds and hundreds of names of people. Well, Audrey, they don't want anyone to have the names because he was framed. And one of those hundreds of people framed him. Again, I'm sorry, no. Be logical. Be logical when you're thinking about this kind of thing. Who in their right mind? His cousin probably did it. His cousin. I don't know if he even has a cousin. Well, okay, so the pretend cousin did it. He did all the murders, and he thought, well, or she, let me kill these people, but my cousin Bryan looks like a murderer, so I'm going to make sure his DNA's on the knife sheath, and we'll just say he did it, because he's cuckoo, he's bent, he's involved with all these kids in the college, and, everybody's intermingled Just stop. Stop. It's been blown. It's some people's minds just go too far. I mean, yes, you have to think out of the box when you're trying to solve these cases, but this case is very, very specific. This case is a, what's that term called? Is a textbook perfect example of this kind of murderer, of BRYAN KOHBERGER. There's so much profiling that's been done on this guy, and he fits into every freaking category. And besides that, the DNA. Thank God for DNA. I mean, some people are being let out of prison because they were wrongfully accused, and now their DNA's checked. Oh yeah, sorry, you're not the guy that committed the crime. You can go. I'm sorry. DNA is what helps keep us safe. But Audrey, what if my name's on that list? Well, any of our names could be on that list. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? That's crazy. I'm going to log on to my 23andMe account and see. I don't know if KOHBERGER's on that site or not, but yeah, if you've ever done one of those ancestry tests, you can see you're related 15 degrees away from this person. Or, you know, if you see someone who's only one generation away from you, it's usually a cousin or your cousin's kid or something. But yeah, there's a lot of people you're related to when you do the testing. So we shall see what's going on with this. But stay tuned. I'll give you the breakdown version of what all the lawyers are saying and the other people on YouTube who give a very complicated answer and discussion on the case. I'm going to get straight to the meat and potatoes of this situation. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. We got more to talk about. We need to talk about the Delphi murders. We have to talk about that submarine underwater little machine that's gone missing. We need to talk about that and some other stuff too. So I'll see you guys really soon. All right, take care. Stay safe.